I'm so sorry, y'all. As the story gets, I guess, more recent, as the details get more dramatic, I'm having a more difficult time keeping to the pseudonyms. So anyway, before I jump into Chicago Part 2, because this I do remember when we had this discussion during the trip to Chicago, was that Peter had never been to Vegas before. So I was like, perfect, because Mariah Carey is having her residency tour, and I have waited no less than 18 years to see Mariah Carey in person. Okay, and I will absolutely talk more about that because it just so happened to be that the day of the flight that we booked into Vegas was Pokey's 21st birthday. So I knew that was a sign. And the day of the concert was July 31st, and then the flight back was August 1st. Get it now? So, okay, I have to say this story because it was actually really cute. So we take the train from Chicago to Milwaukee, and then we stop at this random coffee shop. And not like, it was a random coffee shop, but what's actually, I want to see if it's on my desk, but I got this really cool bag, little like zip bag that I still use to this day that I got, and it wasn't that long ago, but that I got from that coffee shop that I think is super cool. It was a super, super cute coffee shop, and yeah, lots of coffee shops. But anyway, I just remember that I thought that we were gonna walk to another place to then meet his friends. So we go out the back entrance, and then boom, there's Megan A and Bev, this is the first time I'm meeting her. I thought it was super cute how Peter didn't like tell me that, and boom, there they are. So anyway, so we get in the car, and then we start driving to the museum. Yes, why did I have a brain fart? Because we were already in Milwaukee, which is where one of them lives. I won't say that. But, and I won't say who's the florist. But we went to the museum, which if you've heard of it, this is a pretty famous museum, the Milwaukee Art Museum. Metropolitan Museum of Art. I may have it wrong. But oh my God. And I had this feeling of like, we are like adulting, like this is super cool. Like I was there for it. Like, if I remember correctly, something like 7 floors of art, all these special exhibits. So that was a really special treat. I do remember that was really cool. Yeah. Being at the Milwaukee Museum of Art, and then seeing all those cool exhibits. What happened? So then from there, so that was kind of quick, and then from there we drive to Chicago. We drive back to Chicago to check into their Airbnb, which I remember got randomly switched and upgraded because something like a tree had fallen on their other one. What I remember about being at the Milwaukee Museum was that Peter and Megan held hands almost the entire time. And I remember this back when Megan had visited us in San Francisco and I had her on one of my tours. I remember that they held hands, and like I was like a stab to the heart. I'll be honest. I was like so crushed. I was like, "Oh, it's not that he doesn't like to hold hands. It's me." Okay, so we drive back to Chicago and we check into their fancy Airbnb. And it was a nice Airbnb, I'll be honest. And I was only there one night, and then I had to fly back. So I remember that Peter, like, he didn't charge me any extra to stay with them for that night, and I was super grateful for that. And they like let us stay in the big room for one night, and for the night that I stayed. And, you know, we got food, we got drinks, you know, because they do that. And there was a balcony, so we did what I like to do. And Peter came out and, like, sat on my lap a few times. And, like, you know, it's interesting because when, you know, all these dots that you connect afterwards, and it's some of the dots you connect mid-video. But, like, he knew that I liked that when he sat in my lap. He knew that. And as far as I know, that was not something he like ever kind of like withheld from me like the other things, but I don't know, it was a good memory sitting on the balcony and having my boyfriend sitting in my lap with his friends from college who I felt all really liked me. And then at one point we did go out to a bar, and I just remember that the bar was super, super, super dog friendly because everybody literally had a fucking dog with them, which was pretty cool. Okay. So the next day, mind you, I have an early flight back to San Francisco. He's staying with them for another night or two and then coming back to San Francisco. So, and I'm an early riser. So I get up early and I'm thinking the least I can do, since they didn't charge me to stay here with them, is I can, clean for them. So I cleaned, I did all the dishes, I took the trash out, and I didn't think that I was that loud, and actually I'll get to that. But I was like because the bedroom was right there, but like I could hear the girls snoring. So I know for a fact that they were fucking asleep. Let me just put that out there. But I remember, and again, I didn't keep this energy at the time. And also you have to realize, like, I'm walking on eggshells. These are my partner's friends. I'm the one that has to make the good impression. So I just remember finally cleaning everything up, hopping in the shower, and then like I go back in the room to go say bye to Peter, and then he gives me this look, and the first thing he tells me is like, you're loud as fuck. And I just sat there and I was like, I didn't say anything. I was like, I didn't even really feel like being sarcastic because I just want to say bye and go. So anyway, I just remember he didn't really say bye. He left bitchy. And then weeks later, at some point before the final FaceTime, which again, you have to realize is coming up very quickly, but he told me that trauma kind of came from, because again, he didn't apologize. If he ever did, it's because I asked him to. So he told me that a lot of that trauma came from sharing a wall with his mom, and that he actually said that afterwards that it wasn't really a big deal, even though he didn't apologize for acting bitchy to me. But what happened was I left and I went to the grocery store and I bought some fruit, even though I don't normally eat breakfast because I needed change for the bus. And the cashier called me baby. And I was so fucking happy for the rest of the morning. That just made my morning, and I quickly forgot about the way that my boyfriend treated me after cleaning their entire apartment before I left to go to the airport. So sometimes a little random act of kindness really goes a long way. Let me throw that out there, because I swear to God, when I forget what it was, but she was like, baby, I can give you quarters. And I was like, oh, she just made my whole day. Yeah. So fly back to San Francisco, and the only thing I can say about Chicago is that, whew, motherfucker, I will be back, and I won't bring the trash with me. Okay. I guess next we'll talk about my birthday. And wow, this is all happening super quickly. So I think there's something else I'm forgetting, but I'll see y'all in the next video.